She's so broken. My mom is so broken.
All over her body, everything is broken.
Maddie Stevenson never saw it coming. The car that crossed two medians and hit her head-on. Paramedics had to use the jaws of life to pry Maddie from the mangled metal. They rushed her to the nearest hospital with life-threatening injuries. Her daughters, Brooks and Lindsay, rushed to their mother's bedside.
They didn't even prepare me before I walked into the room. She had so many broken bones.
Wires everywhere, feeding tube, breathing tubes.
Neurosurgeon Dr. Angela Downs was called in.
I mean, it was a very severe trauma, high-speed rollover. She broke almost every part of her body.
45 bones, in fact, including her spine that needed immediate surgery. But first, they had to stop the internal bleeding and keep her alive. By morning, Maddie had stabilized.
I was very surprised that she was not paralyzed due to the severity of her fractures. That was actually pretty miraculous. But the spinal bones, they were fractured and they were jumped over where they're supposed to be.
I had been told that her spinal cord was within a millimeter of being completely severed.
Although confident the procedure would be successful, Dr. Downs said it was possible for Maddie to lose some range of motion in her spine and feeling in her body.
It was, a little bit more scary, any kind of complications that could arise.
As Lindsay and Brooks prayed, they also started calling friends of their moms they knew would pray too. Before long, people around the world were calling out to God for Maddie. Hours later, Dr. Downs came out of surgery.
She's doing very well. We just had to realign the spine and put instrumentation, screws and rods, and bring everything back into where it's supposed to be in the normal anatomical alignment.
She said, I have performed maybe 75 of these surgeries. Your mom is the only one to make it out with no loss of feeling.
Yet Maddie's recovery and her future were far from certain.
I told her that it was going to be a long road to recovery and it's going to be extremely challenging mentally and physically.
When Maddie woke up from surgery, she had no recollection of the accident, but her broken body and the searing pain told her something catastrophic had happened.
Pain. The vertigo was very bad from severe whiplash. And I remember screaming when they would turn me to my side.
For the next several weeks, Maddie would endure more pain as doctors performed 8 more surgeries to repair the broken bones.
It was almost as if God just carried me from surgery to surgery and gave me the hope of the next day. I realized the amount of prayer that was being lifted up.
She always had a joyous attitude. She always had faith. She always just radiated optimism and hope.
After 6 long weeks, Maddie was finally released from the hospital.
God helped me to realize what He had carried me through. God had spared my life and allowed me to live.
Maddie would begin a long, painful process of recovery to get back on her feet and to a normal life. One day, she realized there was something more she needed to do. Forgive the driver who hit her head-on at over 100 miles per hour.
It was a conscious decision to forgive him. And so it didn't matter what mistakes he made. He's forgiven, and that's done with.
After several months of rehabilitation, Maddie suffered a huge setback. Her surgeon said her right hand wasn't healing, and she needed another operation.
I was shook to the core. I raised my fist to heaven, and I said, why did you not take me to heaven when you could? You could have taken me. Why didn't you take me? I was just done with dealing with everything.
Again, the prayer warriors went to God. 2 days later, the hand surgeon reconsidered. He decided surgery wasn't necessary and the hand might heal on its own.
God healed it. And I left smiling and crying that God would be so purposeful and so good.
A year after the accident, Maddie was back on her feet and fully recovered.
I felt free. I felt healthy. It was wonderful. Not only did he heal my body, he healed my mind, memories, my heart.
When it was a year later, she looked like nothing happened to recover from all those injuries. And then to get back to normal life, it's amazing. This is all from above.
Today, Maddie lives a life filled with simple pleasures and gratefulness to God.
Prayer is powerful. Use it, embrace it, believe it, and share it with everyone you come across.